Sob o reboque, de novo ele. Dominada!
Sam finds a gap in the smoke and the spray. It's already over.
I'm joined with Peu from Furia after their first map win over NRG. The team's looking electric, and you guys were in control the whole time. Why are we seeing this new energized Furia?
Eu acho que a gente está trabalhando muito o fator da nossa intensidade dentro do jogo. A gente sempre tenta ser um time intenso, mas no último jogo contra a G2 a gente acabou deixando isso abaixar no segundo half. Acho que a gente corrigiu isso, por isso que a gente está com tanta vontade, indo tanto para cima, vibrando tanto assim, porque é uma coisa que faz muito bem pra gente e a gente vai tentar manter.
Yeah, we've been working a lot on our intensity. I think for last game we kind of let it cool down, but like we are really going for this intensity for being everyone high, for keeping everyone hyped. That's what's happening.
Awesome. Well, it's awesome to see. Good luck in the second map.
Furia up 1 in this series, taken away. NRG's map pick. This one hurts, man. This one hurts. They had the same playbook. They came in swinging once again. They came with those contact plays. They came with the aggression. NRG should have known.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, I feel like all of us should have known better too, because I think most people had their money on NRG coming into this series, right? Like, they of course took this map down
really
against C9. It looked
like
great.
Okay.
Look at these frauds.
They're looking like Pletchat out there.
I don't know that guy.
That's a different Sean.
That's not me.
Nays.
No, I don't know that guy. No.
What does it take for us to stop believing in NRG?
I mean, we just saw it, actually.
Is this it?
Like, even beyond belief, I think just losing to C9 and then losing to Furia, I don't see a world where they can make it out of groups if they lose this series today with how quick the season goes.
Yeah, and we looked at the schedule, right? They have some tough opponents ahead of them.
Absolutely, and we heard from Mike in the opening interview, right? The new head coach for NRG. This is a building process, right? They brought in Brock. It's a learning process. But like Ender said, you have to win along the way and get the wins that are easiest. And this is technically, it should be one of the easier ones for NRG. 4 straight wins against Furia. They hadn't won a map against NRG for like 2 years.
Hey, but they had 2 years. They came back. They were ready. And what I loved with Furia was how they took the VOD they saw from last week's game against NRG and punished them. NRG plays so passively, especially once they're ahead in numbers. And in this round, Furia lose a player. So what do? They contact out on site. They know that NRG love to play doubled up into the back here. Rafa finds a great kill, and they end up hunting Finesse down by going up the rope as well. But again, NRG afford them so much space. So then in the very next round, similar situation, 3-on-3. Look at the positioning of NRG playing up in heaven and playing backside with Finesse. They did this consistently versus Cloud9. So again, off of the contact, here's a stun. Rafa again. Huge round 3Ks back to back to jump out to a big lead.
Yeah, and you're mentioning Rafa here, one of the initiators. The other one that we didn't say, and this guy, the Clove right here, he was knocking it out of the park all game long. It started on the pistol. He won them the opening pistol with that B lurk, and it spread into the next half at the C site. I think, though, the true thing is Prize. He started 2-9 this game in the first half at a 6-6 game, and he ended second on the scoreboard. 200 damage around in the second half with Havoc. Oh, man. It's a disaster class over there at FNS. FNS, NRG, and Co.
Well, let's hear what NRG has to say ahead of this next map.
I am joined with Mike from NRG. Before we get into Pearl, looking at how that worked out, it was close in the end, but they seemed to have your number. Kind of talked about what was going through your mind and chat with the team in that last time out.
We were just talking about like what we saw overall from their game versus G2. And just reinforcing some of the stuff that we talked about game plan wise, because their C was pretty weak, so that was something that we wanted to keep trying to abuse. Didn't work out in the end, but that was what it was about.
Feeling good about Pearl?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Rocket. Good luck in the match.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think so. Did not That was not a stealth.
Not super inspiring.
Not super inspiring.
Especially considering the territory we're about to head into with Pearl coming in, right? Because, yes, NRG, they rip off the T1 comps that looked so good in Bangkok, but it didn't seem like they were following the same blueprint that T1 had to their road to success.
No, they were a lot more passive in their opening defaults on the attack half. When they switched half and they went on defense, I thought they did a really good job of flooding into the sites and, you know, quite frankly, being everywhere all at once. With the Yoru able to play both sites, the Neon able to, you know, run to both sites very quickly. I don't know if they keep the comp. I really don't know if they do. I'm so curious because I know this team, they have two great initiators in Brock and Ethan. They both know how to play Pearl on whatever you put them on. So it's not like it's required for them to run this double duelist comp. If they run it, though, it's very important that they come out of this map one with aggression.
It's clear to me that if they are running it, they need to work on their attack side in particular. Because I think across, I mean, even historically, looking at Finesse and NRG, this team is usually pretty solid on the defensive side of things when they can control the rounds a little bit more. When they have to, you know, take the active plays on the attacking side, things start to struggle. So if they go to this comp again, I want to see them running way more execs, right? Fighting for space, whether it's A main early on or quickly getting themselves into some art control, some mid space either. I feel like this team was kind of just walking around and waiting for players to open up opportunities, which is not the path to success when you've got these agents.
Yeah, it was just like this pacifist strategy almost where they seem to avoid the fighting, except of course one individual, and that is Som. He's still clicking those heads.
This was going so well for them on what it's right. When everything else is failing for NRG, Som is still there. At some point, he's like 20 kills, 9 deaths. He still is having fantastic games, but it's got to hurt for him because he's not getting the wins.
No, it's not even just the kills, though, Ender. It's also the impact. He was winning 1-on-2s left and right this map. This is a map where he averaged over 200 damage around across the entire map in a loss. By far the top fragger in the server, and NRG as a team kind of let him down here.
Yeah, because the other thing too is you talk about him being in a 1v2 often. He's also abandoned during the round as well. He's usually going to be that anchor over towards the seaside of the map, playing on his own, maybe given some Vi's utility to work around, but he usually doesn't have players there to trade him out. He's got to get it all done himself, which he's doing.
Oh man, well, is this happening? Can Furia do it? Map 2 is coming up right after this.
Well, just like everyone predicted, Furia are up 1-0 over NRG as we turn our attention to Pearl. Yeah, every pundit exactly predicted that this was going to happen. But as Zoe was saying before the throw, Dre, we find ourselves in a position where it might happen. It very well may be possible because Dre talked, or you talked about it, Sean talked about it, Christy talked about it as too. Their Pearl did not look good.
Yeah, it was just no synergy at all. I mean, you saw Ethan and Mata like running in the same spots on the entry, not really playing off of one another. And they did a good job of getting into the sites. The problem was, what do we do after? When everyone's just in pit at A and just like spamming the spike. There was no next step for them. So this is going to be a huge test for them. And we need to all keep in track if they have fixed that problem whatsoever. Because if they play the same way, I'm kind of leaning towards Furia, who, I mean, they have been looking as good of a cohesive unit. Like, they're looking better than NRG right now as a team.
It's kind of hard to argue against that. You see the compositions come through.
Here's a change, though. Yeah, here's a change. We're putting Mata on the Jet. He was on the Neon previously. And I think that, you know, the spacing even on some of their hits on their attacking side against Cloud9, it just wasn't quite there. So now Mata has some smokes to use for himself on site. He can use Ethan's flashes as well. I think it's going to look a lot better for the side of NRG with this composition. I feel like the Neon was getting a little bit too ahead at times. And on the opposite side for Furia, more of a standard-ish comp. Yeah, you're not running the Jet, you're running the Neon yourself, but you still have that KO. tried and true info utility on your defaults, whatever it may be. I think Finesse is going to have a lot easier of a time calling against this comp that Furia is running than the one on Lotus. I think the Lotus composition, not a lot of people are running that Clove double controller, you know, pseudo duelist composition. Here, it's a little bit more standard.
I think one of the big points of discussion the last time we saw NRG on Pearl was the double duelist comp, obviously, but the fact that Ethan struggled. He struggled tremendously.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you saw when you're watching the film that you're looking to see change here?
I'm going to be honest, I think a lot of it had to do with what I was talking about earlier on the entries, but sometimes you just have a rough day.
Sure.
And I don't think we're going to see Ethan dropping, you know, a 2-kill half at all this time around. And already a big change from the side of NRG was, in their last match, they didn't have a lot of the C control whatsoever. They kind of played all 5 players on one site, had no info on the other, much like Lotus. So now that we're seeing them take both extremity controls with that turret in mid, it gives them so much space to be able to make whatever call they want, bait out whatever rotations they want.
And hopefully do so without losing much utility. As well, Brock droned towards A.
Yeah, Neon Jump Spot did see Ethan here. I don't think that's going to change anything.
Flash through. Ethan's the one who walks away a little beaten, a little battered, but trades some of that damage back.
They're sitting out of knife range. Very interesting. Now is going to be the cue to go. That dagger got nobody. All of a sudden, you see players running away from B. They think the rotate is here.
Havoc feeling a lot of the pressure. The stun will buy a little bit of time, but will not preserve his life. As Ethan up close and personal with the frenzy, now Heat dancing around the cage. He got a little bit of site control, not enough to feel comfortable enough to settle the spike down. Now committing to it and succeeding. A 5v3 for NRG. You see the members of Furia who are starting to arrive at the scene.
I mean, everyone's in backhaul right now. If these shock darts can actually get some of these low players, could be a way back in, but Ethan...
It's a big one. You mentioned how weak they are. Rafa's gotten 2, not able to connect on the 3rd. Prize left in a 1v3. Ethan's weak, yeah, but you've got 2 other really healthy members, and their post plant is beautiful right now. I mean, you've got a cross from back halls, and down long, it's perfect. Ethan with 3 on the round as NRG get the pistol.
Yeah, Ethan starting off strong is key to NRG's success on this attacking side. He couldn't get things going at all last time around. So for him to start off with 3 kills, get close to that Yoru ultimate, if he can get more kills in this round or even grab it or plant the spike, use that ult on the bonus. If NRG can convert that, I think that they're just going to take this entire map away from Fury.
It'll certainly be a great start. You know, not to touch on this again, Ethan, when we last saw them play this, he had 3 kills in the entire attack half.
Yeah.
So, a great start for him, a great start for NRG, and the desperate need to avoid being ecoed here.
And what I'm seeing on the mini-map right now, Doug, is really good for the side of NRG. Having some sit all the way in the back, spotting this B. It's something that they didn't do, again, against Cloud9. I don't know how Havoc wins that 1v1.
That's traded.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
with Classics, it wasn't even a sheriff or anything. It's
no, not really in a position to upgrade the weapon, but that's 2 kills found.
NRG. They can't get ecoed here. They're taking their time. They're going to group up towards this B site. It is the right call. They should get the spike planted for free and set up a good post plant. I imagine all players would like to be in B long, not have to worry about those close range duels against the Classic. They're so worried. They do not want to get thriftied right now.
I mean, trying to go through as quietly as you can. There was a step made in B main, but it didn't seem like Khalil was close enough to hear it.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. But you never know. I mean, that flurry of trades we saw in A main, that allows them to get some upgrades here. They could do some damage. If Khalil waits long enough for his teammates to get back into the fight.
Do you only find 1 weapon?
I could have swore there was a bulldog somewhere there.
I thought so too.
I guess Ethan didn't really commit. He must have just had a ghost. I mean, Khalil goes way too early. Mata, he's so quick. He's very good at holding these angles.
Yeah, what was the plan for Khalil there?
He was scouting. It was a scouting report.
Yeah.
Yo, they're up, down, in backhaul.
Yeah, info gathered, I guess.
Yeah, you just dropped a spike now if you're the side of Fury. You don't want to feed any more of those orbs to you know, Finesse or Mata who's coming up on those knives. And although there was a little bit of trading in A main, I still think that the overall picture of what NRG was trying to accomplish was done well. And they can't do that if Som's not set up on this B side of the map. So, already fixing a lot of the mistakes that we saw last time around on the Pearl. I think the Jet looks a lot more fluid in tandem with this Yoru. But
it's so early to tell.
It's so early.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is going to be a big test here. Looks like they're going to want to try to grab this orb onto Ethan. Get that Yoru ultimate online, but Furia, they have something to say about it.
Khalil tucking into Cubby. Havoc stumbles out of the blocks. But remember, Khalil's still in a really good spot. Surely you check this. Ethan looks concerned about it, wisely so. That crouch peek was perfect.
Nasty. You still have Alarm Bot all the way towards A. Finesse, he's been jump spotting. He's making noise, though. He needs to be careful. It does get the info. I still think you commit this Yoru ultimate and just get the info onto this B site. Figure out what's going on. Where are the rest of the defense at? That's why you see this group up here. Oh, but the knife does hit onto him. Only one person hit. This knife so far from Furia has been giving a lot of false information.
I mean, Heat has to spot this from back here, or from back halls, excuse me.
Yeah, and you imagine that there's going to be a flash dash play for Mata here into this back hall.
Oh, there was no flash, but that's okay. The double dive works out just fine. Mata cleans him up, and all of a sudden you've got Prize and Rafa in a position where they probably are going to save too.
Yeah, you have to. There's no way you're breaking through this in a 5v2.
No,
not on this map.
No, this is such a pivotal round too. I mean, it's early on, but you think about what we just saw in map 1. You think about the landscape for NRG for the rest of the stage, and the fact that they're able to convert a bonus off of these two pretty easy kills at the beginning of the round by catching out the Neon and then Khalil getting caught in Cubby. That's exactly what you want if you're NRG.
On the attacking side as well, right? Where they've been struggling with clearly. So I think it's just a confidence thing. I think now that they got a little bit of momentum in their favor, they're feeling it. You could even tell in some of these gunfight exchanges, you know, like Ethan not being scared to actually take a peek onto an Asher there, and that Cubby just instantly deletes Khalil. It's a lot of things that we saw NRG being a little bit more timid on in the last map.
And that's something that you were mentioning after the map in between during the break about how it feels like for NRG, you just kind of, you have to win one, right?
Yes.
Like there's got to be something to get momentum going, to get the ball rolling, and then maybe that's what breaks the dam for them.
Yeah, otherwise you just look a little bit flat. Like where is the X factor? Where is the clutch potential from this roster that we know that they have?
So far it's been Mata and Ethan. Combined 9 and 2. It's been a great start for them.
This time a 1-3-1 approach in mid. Mata is going to go head-to-head against Havoc. Nice dodge of utility. Good finesse there.
A little high ground.
Who's next?
There's that Yoru ult that you were looking for.
Yeah, they saved it in the last round. Some decent info gathered. And it looks like it's going to be a lean towards B right now. That spike. B long.
Khalil's in trouble again.
Yeah, he's got to get out of here.
I mean, if the rotations get through quickly enough, take a look at Finesse on the minimap and how far he is into their spawn.
Surely he calls them back. Don't commit.
Or he takes the timing?
Oh, there's no way. They have to wait. The plan is to wait now for Finesse to activate. But they're going instead.
You got to be careful in Street here. Both duelists are here, and they've been the hot ones, but the first one will fall. The second will crumble too. And now it's going to be on Finesse to play hero. Does he call them away? Does he commit to this? He might get caught no man's land himself. Rafa falls. Finesse tries to get a second. Is not able to contribute. 3v2 now, the way of the defense. Brock and Psalm left alone. Heat weak as the dark goes through. It's immediately cleared out. Suspicions on where one might be. Not able to convert. Not able to hold the transfer onto Psalm. Brock will fall, and that's a round for Furia. And that was a round that was really only successful because of the 2 rifles they carried over.
Just a disastrous round for NRG. Finesse had so much space on the map, Doug. I mean, there's no world in which you don't just go back or wait for him to actually get a kill on the flank. But the proactivity from the side of Fury here, Prize, you got to give him that. That was such an impactful play, such an impactful decision to make at the perfect time.
Right. I think the timing was the difference maker there for sure.
100%. But NRG, they showed too much. Something they struggled with on the last map as well was when they cut noise, they're still spamming, they're still showing a shoulder. You truly have to just dial in on your crosshair and hold. Wait for the next play to be made.
Op in the hands of Havoc. See him try to scurry away, and now they know where the threat lies. And they're doubling down.
Yeah, it can be very hard to hold the site with the operator here, especially with all the utility that NRG have, that Astral Wall coming up.
He's playing right on the other side, but he's got an op. He's got to be careful.
Watching here.
They're having to give so much map control right now. Ethan's in this back hall. Dagger connects on 2 members. Euroflash is not going to be significant.
They're just separated by the wall. Ethan now taking a step back. And as it goes down, is able to get out to safety.
I like that smoke.
Gives him a little bit more cover to play around. Now, pushing into it. The flash going to connect. Rafa falls. He tried to TP away, but where was that shot from? And now they fully lost control of the site. Fury have filled in the space that was previously vacated. You're going to have a late lurk out from Sam, but it's got to be a little pacier. They just went out the fights down long, which seems to be exactly what NRG is doing. Whew. Khalil, sharp with it, but we'll get chased down. As NRG get another. I got to see that shot again.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that kill. Maybe it was a spam through a smoke or...
But he was TPing out.
It must have been so fast. We'll get it right here. Ethan, nice proactivity. Yeah, no clue. He just he gets sniped through the smoke. Yeah, nasty work. But a good post plan from the side of NRG. Everybody playing out this time around, using those phantoms to their advantage, spamming kills. Brock is going hunting. He's feeling himself. And when you find out where the operator is, it can be so easy to just overwhelm him. I mean, Havoc really couldn't do anything there. Yeah, he gets that kill through the smoke, but that's not reliable. Now, a change of pace. This time, A default with mid control, but B is completely open.
Right, they're popping the ult here.
Mata does get tagged up.
Surprised they invested that ult. Down 3, I guess just trying to turn the tide somehow.
And it was all distraction for Finesse to just walk up into Art there with Sam and try to catch anybody out that may be backing up from the A site. Did exactly just that, but Khalil, he's taken all this space. NRG, they have to hold W. They have to speed up.
With a Guardian in hand. We've got Finesse who's still trying to play around mid, but there is a gap.
Yeah, the thing is, Khalil, he's just a little bit too timid in this moment. He just wants to hold that space, and Furia decided to back up off of that smoke fading. Good drone. Should be a free A site. Now, Fast Floods was where stuff fell apart for the side of NRG.
Again, keep an eye on the mini-map. Finesse is ready for it. Meanwhile, Ethan trying to take some of the space out onto the side. What?
Again.
Lobotomized.
Get out of my way.
Still a chance. Though, as these kills, as they get messier and messier, you feel the scales start to tip towards Furia's advantage. Look at how weak they are. Sam is 15 HP, Mata has 5. But Havoc has a Guardian. I don't know that you converted in this. They pass right by each other. Gonna have a really good idea of where he is now. Havoc will fall, NRG gets a 5.
Yeah, good on NRG to weather that flood. Have the correct spacing to get the trades. That's something that slipped away from them against Cloud9. And now it's NRG that's winning these awkward exchanges that are happening. There's that set play, the double walk through mid. And yeah, it got a little bit dicey. Some players got low on the side of NRG, but they weathered that storm of Furia's fast flood.
All smiles for them as they're up 4 rounds. Furia call a timeout.
Right now for the side of Furia, I mean, you have so much map control, but you're kind of second guessing yourself. I would like to see a little bit more oomph from the flanker. Just go all the way. You've been winning the 1v1s. It's pretty much all you've been winning so far in this map.
Yeah.
just take it that extra mile. Just go all the way around. See if you can catch the timing. If you get punished for it, then okay, maybe you can adjust at that point.
Yeah, gamble a little bit though, sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're down 5-1. You got nothing to lose at this point. Maybe with some of these ultimates coming online for Furia, they can stop a little bit of the bleeding. Rafa's coming up on that KO ult. Havoc, he's got that Neon ultimate online, and Khalil, he's got the Cosmic Divide for the retake.
A combination of those three on a retake could be devastating.
Yeah, and so far, we haven't really seen Heat get much value on this Cypher.
No.
I mean, the trips aren't really getting value. I think Brock is doing a really good job of using his utility, and also Ethan as well with that clone to bait out some of these trips, make it so the double duelist can actually get into the sites for free.
Yeah, I mean, have we seen anyone hit by a trip?
No. Also, I don't think Cam has been getting as much value either. And what a difference to the round. NRG understanding that last time Furia took a timeout, it was a fast crunch on a certain side of the map. This time, they're holding.
Very nicely played from Mata there. That double dip was just a bit too much.
Wanted to break that Killjoy turret, no matter what it took.
Spike now scooped up. A lot of presence across the middle of the map for the attack.
Yeah, it's been a main focus on extremities this round. They wanted to change the pace.
Rafa able to get one.
I mean, walks out dry. That's a kill with no trade now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to contact it again.
Not fooled by the clone. That's a great knife. Mata wisely dashing before he gets fully suppressed, so you take some of that space, but they're just going to try to funnel out and split through B.
30 seconds
Remember
left.
Rafa's ult. Remember Khalil's ult. Bryce has to be careful. Don't overheat on this.
They're walking up front B. Sam going to be ready, though, or is he going to get timing?
Is he ready? Oh, turns at just the wrong time. Now they have B long control, excuse me. Fear's in a really good spot.
You can't spam this, but you can walk all the way out.
But he has his ult. He can't afford to die here. Punishes onto one, gets a second. That's 3 for Rafa. Mata in a 1v4. Dropped. Big round for Furia.
And it has to be said, Prize is solo winning Furia rounds with his proactivity when it just freezes from the side of NRG. And it's both times at A site now. The first time it was taking the fight into actual lane. This time, let's walk up, take that front B space because they have all of it. It's a really micro decision that if not done correctly, if not done on the right timing,
it's a disaster.
It's a disaster. Right. But so far, he has a great intuition. He's sitting at 6-3. And Furia now have 4 ultimates online to try to snowball, maybe make it even numbers here.
Careful here.
We might see the Cypher utility tested for the first time here.
Time to jump.
A lot of presence A on the side of NRG, and that's where the cam is, that's where the trips are, the cages, everything.
But everyone's leaning from the side of Furia towards this B site.
It's relying on the utility, yeah.
Heat, I don't know if he can handle all this utility. The cam should see this drone, and also, you know, it's heard by Rafa.
Got you.
Now you see the jet. Makes it a little bit obvious of what NRG's intentions are.
Yeah, there's still a minute left in the round, though. So a lot of time to think this one through.
Yeah, Rafa decides to rotate all the way back around. Maybe he can have that support. Did that not tag?
That knife should have tagged too.
I mean, nevertheless, rotations are coming in, but are they going to be too late?
There's a lot of delay that Rafa can hit here between his nade that he just used and his ult. There, we finally see the trip getting a little bit, but Heat's the one who falls. Excuse me, it wasn't a trip, it was the util from Sova.
Yeah.
Now the shock. Rafa still playing around this. He didn't see his head. And Mata takes it clean off.
Yeah, it just feels like it's impossible to break through this. There's too many angles you have to worry about. You have to clear out all of sight. You have to clear out art.
They're cutting their losses. They're getting out.
Yeah. Nice execute from NRG. Heat is getting overwhelmed. The supporting utility from that KO, it's not really helping. I feel like Rafa at that moment, you might as well just hold that dagger for the actual sight hit that's coming through. But instead he just decides to chuck it for info.
And you mentioned it too, that it felt like he was in a position where he was going to get overwhelmed. He might not be able to deal with everything while playing back in secret.
Yep. Also, those trips are not getting any value. I think Brock is shock darting them on every single exec, and Heat's trips are like too close. So one shock dart is breaking both.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Brock had a phenomenal dart in backside as well that allows Mata to get this kill onto Heat. A lot of layers to that site exact.
A lot of shot from Mata.
Yeah,
One bullet,
nasty,
too.
nasty. I mean, what was Rafa looking at, though? You know, we got to remember that. Like, Mata was on his screen for about, I don't know, 5 seconds.
Yeah, it felt like a while.
Maybe not 5, but felt like it. He puts the trip in the same spot. That trip has been getting broken every single time.
He's hanging on to one, though. Hanging on to the other one. Perhaps, yeah, trying to play it down street.
I mean, it's just the common trips, though. It's no innovation, no creativity on this character. That's why he's struggling so much.
A lot of noise made A.
Oh. Here's the adjustment. He wants to get active. He's had enough of anchoring. He's like, you know what?
Yeah, but remember what Mata did in this exact position.
Ooh.
Trying to play off of that turret has, I mean, been more damning than not.
The drone follow-up as well to push everybody back, give Finesse more space on the map as if he needed it. This time the dagger does connect. Now you kind of have to pivot a little bit, maybe put some pressure somewhere else if you're NRG. They don't know that Havoc's here, but if they can push him off mid-door, that would sell it even more. Silence is enough, though.
It's unsettling, too. So Ethan's going to go exploring. A little bit of a recon mission to try to find out who's on the site. Furia give the space away.
So much info.
TP's back out, and so off of that, now we're going to see some of these ults used. Havoc uses his, the KOs use theirs as well, and Psalm winning the hand-to-hand battle.
Oh, Mata saw the barrel.
Prize is cooked, he had nowhere to go. One step too far. They're really investing into this. Cosmic Divide now through. Stun not connecting, Psalm's going to hold out onto the plant. As he invests the ult, he's left in 1v2, and Brock with 3 massive kills as NRG gets 7.
Yeah, Brock has been so sharp on this half.
That felt like a...
He's been hunting kills.
Yeah, that felt like a really big round there because Furia they invested a lot into that round to try to convert it. NRG being able to navigate through that should set them up very nicely for the rest of the half.
The problem is, for Furia, why is Havoc on an island going in alone with the Neon Ultimate? Why not use all those ults in tandem? I think Furia are very flustered right now with the way that NRG have approached this attacking side, and they do not have an answer.
And he looked flustered.
Yep.
I could agree with you there. Rafa did use his ult with Havoc's ult, but it just wasn't enough. Change of the Cypher utility, all towards B this time, and lo and behold, that's where NRG are.
Just breaking every single Cypher trip ever.
There's one done.
Has a single trip.
And there's the other.
Oh, he picked it up right on time. Maybe now.
Right.
Maybe now he can get some value with it. He's been having a rough map so far, man. To go from playing Clove, you know, this duelist style, to having to play Cypher, which is more of an anchor on the defensive side and more util heavy. It's a completely different playstyle. Trip was put and broken down, so now Cypher has no trips to deal with.
It feels like they're just playing a mini game.
Yeah, I mean, Furia are left guessing on where these members of NRG have been. How many rounds did we see NRG do the same B default but keep 3 members there?
It's actually really impressive that Furia are left in a spot where they're guessing when they have a comp that has Sova, KO, and Cypher.
Yeah, it's just they're getting fake info, not the right deposits in the right areas.
And so Prize is in a really awkward spot. Yeah, he has main, and yeah, he has a gun. He also has a kill, but now he's stunned.
Good dart in the smoke.
Why is he still alive?
Look at the time.
They've got to commit to this very quickly. Nice swing out from Brock. 5 seconds left.
They have to kill the Spike.
There's no way for them to get through. Spike now planted. Heat and Khalil left alone, and they can hold on. Seemed like for a second they were going to be able to buy enough time, but
time ran low, but Brock is too cold again. Running out of that smoke, that kill on the Prize was massive. Prize had the advantage in that moment. He could have really turned things around for Furia here after this pickup on Namada.
I thought he was going to get another with how long he was alive.
Brock is just too on point right now. I mean, right, this is the NRG that everybody thinks about on paper.
Into the next we go, a 6-round lead for the attack. Plenty of money to speak of. And 3 ults to play around too. Havoc this time, not concerned with clearing out the turret. That could be problematic. He's gonna have to get out of there. No safe passage found.
What a great punish from NRG. Now the silent walk into A main.
Take flight.
Using so much of that info utility to clear out all this space. B long was gathered though from Khalil. That allows for a little bit of a heavier lean for Furia towards this A side of the map, and these trips are definitely different. Maybe they can get the value that Furia needs to convert a round win, stop a little bit of the bleeding, stop the snowball that is NRG.
An 8-4 would be great, given how this half has gone. Khalil's in a really good spot, denying a lot of this space. Playing on the other side of the wall, Mada's now down, those trips are still up. And he has taken a timing, perhaps ill-advised. Instead of deciding to wait out on the other side of the wall,
You should run.
he dies for it. Now 3 members left of the defense. You've got another ult invested in Prize and Rafa. I feel like every time we look up, that's another member lost. That's another advantage gained for NRG.
What was that from Heat? Just trying to take things into his own hands. You kind of had the advantage there. You had 2 info trips. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get spam kills off of them, but that might have been enough to delay for the retake to actually come through. Instead, you walk out and try to
trips do nothing.
1v4.
Right. This feels like the Furia that we saw when things got lost against G2.
Yes.
Where it felt like they were just forcing fights, where they were always dry, where they were... I don't even want to call it heroic attempts at making plays. It just felt like, hey, we're just going to out-duel you.
Yeah, let's just try to shoot.
Right, and that's a problem with the state of where Valorant is right now. You can't play the game that way.
No. And they didn't play like that on Lotus, that's why it's so surprising. On Lotus, they played as a cohesive unit, even on the defensive side. How many retakes did they actually have? They had a bunch.
Yeah.
It just feels like on this map, they've been getting first-blooded way too much by NRG, and that's partly due to like some really good set pieces of, you know, defaulting from the side of NRG as well.
I mean, even that play to catch the Neon there, investing the flash, investing the ult.
It's good punishment, for sure. But then maybe you just got to play a little bit more passive, let the spike get planted, and then go for the retake. Instead, we're running our head into a wall. And we're going for more.
NRG in a really nice position here to close out a 10-2 half of the numbers advantage.
Jeez.
And you mentioned, you said it best, it feels like they're just slamming their head into a wall. Again,
absolutely running it down.
Very reminiscent of the Furia that we saw on Ascent against G2.
Planted.
Dry swinging things, trying to take fights by yourself.
I mean, I do have to point out, though, that NRG have made so many good changes. I think the Jet, as well, on this map of Pearl has looked way more comfortable for Mata. And you're kind of seeing, like, how the Neon, it just wasn't it. Like, the timings weren't right. Right now, NRG looks so much more cohesive. There's good utility coming out for Mata when he's in his smoke. Flashes from Ethan. There's just so much to have to deal with. I mean, look at this. Right? I mean, there's nothing you can really do here.
No.
Even the pull from Sam in the back there, so Prize can't help Rafa at all. It's been a great job.
Yeah, it's been a great job for them. It's a 10-2 half for NRG. We'll see if Furia can put together some attempt at a comeback on the other side of this. We'll be back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, rumors of NRG's demise were greatly exaggerated. I, for one, am appalled that the desk would lead us to think that Furia had a chance at that. We would never do that. I mean, not us. It was all the desk. I think NRG have had a commanding, dominant, slaughter, whatever you want to call it. It's just been brutal on the side of NRG. Again, it felt like they're resorting back to a lot of their flaws and a lot of their issues that we saw against G2. And NRG have just had their number. 8 rounds here. Furia, I mean, they need to win the pistol.
One suppressed.
They did win both pistols on the last map, but this time not really working in their favor. Now, on the attacking side, maybe this contact approach and the duels that they want to take, it could work a little bit better for them than on the defensive side.
Yeah, but I think it's something that NRG were starting to key in on. It was something that G2 keyed in on, is once you know that that's their style and their approach, you do that, right? Like, if you're just going to contact out, you just sit back, you hold.
Alone, Ethan getting 2. Somehow Havoc has gotten all the way in the back here. I mean, he might be able to catch out Finesse here. There's no way Finesse knows this timing was made. Whoa.
I can hear Ender starting to overheat.
He was popping off earlier.
He short-circuited.
Complete crash out. If I'm out of here, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my entire team to rotate in here. Is he going to take the timing? He's smarter than that.
Patient with it.
Yeah, this is good from him. I mean, he's 15-6. Remember, plus 46 before this series. Whoa.
It's a game of timing.
That's rough, Doug.
Khalil looking to connect onto the second, cannot. Ethan takes a step back. 3v3 here. And now Prize and Havoc, the 2 that remain.
Jeez.
They're weak. Slivers of health on both of them. The ever desperately needed pistol. For Furia, goes the way of NRG.
Yeah, something that Sean pointed out was Brock's first bullet accuracy. We're seeing it right there. Just full crab walking in the open, one tapping Khalil. This is Ethan getting the 3-piece onto the round. I mean, looked pretty easy. Oh, it was the one tap on the Havoc. Apologies.
One enemy remaining.
But yeah, I mean, NRG didn't really have to do much in this pistol. Just let them walk into their crosshairs. You play the numbers game at that point. You can smother them on the retake. And that allows Mata to sit on this Outlaw. This is a must-buy for Furia. They have to force, and that's exactly what they're doing. Stinger's light armor across the board, but they don't want to run into Mata here, who's getting active.
Havoc dashing through. I think NRG expecting some of that. Giving a little bit of that space back, except for Mata, as you mentioned, and of course, they walk right into him.
Now everybody else is able to play all the way back, use the weapons to their advantage.
That was cold. I know that was an eco, but still, damn.
I mean, I've seen Stingers get some crazy kills, so for him to just be that poised in the moment of 4 Stingers running it and looking at you, I mean, he did that.
Sam has been a star for this team. Really, since you joined the roster.
He's been the hero.
Yeah.
Even with his heroic performance, though, on the last map, it wasn't enough. This time around, he's getting help from Mata, Ethan. Even Brock has had some insane moments.
Yeah, you can tell how good a player's playing by how often we show him in the React cam. We've seen a lot of Sam today.
Yeah. Some good utility being baited out from both duelists on the defending side.
Rotate back towards V. Havoc taking a lot of that space.
But Rafa's alone here as well. I mean, everybody on the mini-map right now from the side of Furia is just in a one-and-done, it looks like. Look at how far ahead Havoc is. Somehow is able to get one out of that.
Yes, he was able to win that fight, but it's the same recipe. He just walked out, took the fight, 1v1. He was able to win it out that time. That's just hard to rely on.
Yeah, at this time, a bit of a freeze towards B where they got the opening pick. They're allowing Heat to try to take a 50-50 on whoever he can find here on the A site. If not, you get space nevertheless. I wonder if there will be a call to maybe pivot. Brock is having none of it.
He was so weak. Havoc is disposed of. And now they're going to try to accelerate B. And they're all here. I mean, they have a really good idea of where Rafa is. All of them fall, and now it's Heat who's going to try to rotate back late to the party. And he will get dealt with. NRG respond beautifully with a 13-2 win on Pearl. And that's going to take us to Fracture Dre.
NRG needed this win. They needed it to be in this fashion as well. I'm seeing confidence in these players that we didn't get to see on their first map of Lotus. They looked a little bit dull, a little flat. And now there's some life. The individual mechanics are starting to shine. The team play is quite there. The post plants were phenomenal. Brock, 8 plants. I mean, the attack half was as perfect as it can be.
As good as it's looked for a really long time for NRG. And I think, again, a lot of this has to be credited to the fact that they figured out Furia's pace, it seems like. They figured out how to play against them on defense. Their attack side looked really good. And from that point forward, they were just able to run away with it.
Yeah, going into Fracture now, it's another map that NRG have the chance of fixing, and it's a map that I don't know if Furia can really do it.
We'll see if that's the case. Furia to decide who walks away with this series on the other side of this break. We'll be back shortly.